Here we go.
Sube.
Okay. Go.
All right, YouTube is live. I'll go ahead and share my screen. Hello, everybody, and welcome. We are here for Face University. We'll be presenting today about college and career success. Our presenter is from the DPS College Career Success Department, Katie Giantazio. She has some great tips on FAFSA and CASFA for you. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to drop them into the chat as we go along tonight. I'll go ahead and introduce our interpretation channels too. I'm going to stop my share just for a minute to do that. If you do need interpretation tonight, we do have the interpretation globe at the bottom. There is English and Spanish. I'm sorry, Spanish and Vietnamese interpretation tonight. You'll click on the globe and click the language that you need. You will also, on your phone, you might see 3 dots. If you click on those 3 dots, that'll take you to the interpretation option. Interpreters, can you introduce your channels in your language?
Si necesitan interpretación en español, cuando vean el globo terráqueo en la parte inferior de su computadora, por favor haga clic y escoja su idioma. Hoy tenemos interpretación al español y interpretación al vietnamita. Si está en el teléfono celular, van a ver 3 puntitos, hacen clic en los puntitos y ahí él le dirige para interpretación y escoge su idioma de preferencia. Johnny?
Xin kính chào quý vị. Trong một lát nữa chúng tôi sẽ bật lên cái biểu tượng hình cầu để mà quý vị có thể chọn trong dịch. Khi nào quý vị muốn nghe bằng tiếng Việt Nam, xin vui lòng nhấp vào cái biểu tượng hình cầu đó để chọn ngôn ngữ mà quý vị muốn nghe. Nếu quý vị dùng cell phone thì xin nhấp vào 3 dấu chấm ở bên cạnh tên của quý vị ở bên trên. Thì nó sẽ có một cái hàng chữ dọc xuống, quý vị sẽ chọn cái biểu tượng là thông dịch qua tiếng Việt để mà nghe tiếng Việt Nam. Và trong 1 phút nữa chúng tôi sẽ bắt đầu cái buổi trình bày của ngày làm việc ngày hôm nay bây giờ. Thank you.
All right, so those interpretation channels are open now. We will go ahead and get started with our presentation. Share my screen. Alrighty, so like I said, welcome to Face University. We're here for our DPS College and Career Success. We have Vietnamese and Spanish interpretation for you guys tonight. If you are here on Zoom, remember we have interactive features. You are welcome to type in the chat any questions or comments. You can also send reactions or raise a hand, or just feel free to come off of mute and ask your questions. If you are watching live, there are chat features as well. We'll be monitoring that chat to look for your questions. We always open with our DPS land acknowledgement. The DPS community acknowledges our Indigenous relatives who have lived in and cared for this ancient land from time immemorial. We acknowledge the close relationship that Arapaho, Cheyenne, Southern Ute, and Ute Mountain Ute and natives of other tribal nations continue to have with the waters, plants, and all moving things that call this land home. We pledge our respect for those enduring Indigenous connections to the place we now call Colorado. To our students and employees who are part of tribal nations, thank you for being an important part of our DPS community by choosing to learn and work at DPS each day. We also have our DPS equity statement. Racial and educational equity is our collective responsibility. We will achieve equity when we dismantle deeply rooted systems of oppression that have historically resulted in inequitable access and distribution of opportunities and resources for those who represent marginalized identities, including race, ethnicity, gender identity, sexual orientation, language, and ability. We will create conditions where we all belong, are included, have a clear purpose, why, and have the autonomy to lead in our respective areas. By creating these conditions, we will eliminate the predictability of success or failure for our students and team members. Because when families and communities thrive, all of our learners can thrive. Remember when you're in this space to lean into discomfort and have compassion for yourself and others. We want to be respectful of the lived experiences and cultures of people coming into this space. And because we record and live stream, we do withhold personally identifiable information. Alrighty, so that takes us into our presentation tonight. I'm going to let Katie share her screen and take it away. Thank you.
Thank you, Jasmine. My name is Katie Genetasio. I'm the Senior Manager of Counseling and College Access for DPS. And prior to this role, I've had a privilege of being a school counselor both in middle school and in high school. And currently, I get to support our school counselors and all of our schools in creating opportunities that open the doors for your students' futures. Oops. I think I started from the beginning. Excuse. Here we go. So tonight we're going to be talking about financial aid and specifically about the FAFSA and the CASFA. So we'll go over what financial aid is, why financial aid is important, and where to get support with financial aid. Excuse me, I'm recovering from a cold. So often when we talk about college, the first things that people think about are why they can't go to college. They think about that it's for some students, it's not for everyone, it's really hard work. And the biggest thing we hear is that college is expensive. But that's why financial aid exists, and we'll be talking through how to make college a little bit more affordable. We really want and talk a lot about going to college because there's a lot of research that talks about the importance of training after high school. So students that go to college on average earn 73% more throughout their lifetime than those that did not. They have lower unemployment rates, greater job satisfaction, and a larger personal and professional network. When we talk about college tonight too, we'll be talking about any way you can earn a credential after high school. So that could be a 2-year college, 4-year college, trade school. Again, any way you earn a credential after high school. And in Colorado, our jobs require quite a bit of training. So we want our students to be as competitive for those jobs as possible. What goes into the cost of college? So there's a couple things to consider when we think about what it is that makes up what we call the sticker price of a school. So at a community college, you'll see that the cost is a lot less than a 4-year public institution and quite a bit less than a private
that is the only
college institution. So to help pay for it, there are quite a few different types of financial aid: grants, work study, scholarship, and loans. And all of those help offset the cost of, again, that sticker price that you saw in that last slide is hopefully not what anyone pays for school, but what we use financial aid to offset. So loans is money that is borrowed. You have to pay a loan back, and often you pay a loan back with interest. Work study is an opportunity for students to earn money while they're going to school. And then there are scholarships, and there's quite a bit of different types of scholarships. They're public scholarships and private scholarships. Students would apply for these. And again, these can be need-based or merit-based. And one of the best opportunities for all students to earn scholarship dollars is through the Denver Scholarship Foundation, which your students are eligible for by being DPS students. In DPS, we also support something called ICAPs, or the Individual Career and Academic Plans, that students start in 6th grade and continue all the way through high school graduation. And we use a tool called Maya Learning, which is, I put the image of their logo on here to help students apply for college. And it's a great tool for students and families to also search for scholarship dollars. But what I really want to talk to you all tonight is about grants. These are free money that you do not need to pay back. And the biggest or most common grants are the FAFSA, the Free Application for Federal Student Aid, and in Colorado, that Colorado Application for State Financial Aid. Students would apply for one of the two of these. And not every student is eligible for each. So students that are US citizens or eligible non-citizens are able to apply for the FAFSA. And in Colorado, students that are undocumented or do not meet Colorado asset qualify for state aid or the CASFA. These are applications that students apply to every year while they go to school and receive funding. We really push students to complete these, not only because it's free money, but through completing these, you're going to be opening the doors for so many additional scholarship, work study opportunities. And research says that 92% of students that complete a FAFSA in their senior year of high school end up going to college, which again is a big deal in Colorado because our workforce requires so much training after high school. We want our students to be as competitive for jobs right here as possible. So how they work, both the FAFSA and the CASFA work simultaneously the same. The first thing is you fill out the forms. Students and families fill out the forms together. You have to put in financial information, including your taxes. And so most students need their parents' support in order to complete the form. On the forms, students identify where they're thinking about going to college. So their FAFSA and CASFA information are then sent off to the financial aid offices at those institutions. The schools then look at that information, evaluate it, and then send students a financial aid award letter or a financial aid package. And that's where you really learn how much money a school will provide you in order to go to school there. This year, the FAFSA is providing $7,395. So again, this is kind of the entrance amount of money. Completing a FAFSA or CASFA will open doors for additional funding. So a couple slides back, we talked about what the different prices are for our in-state institutions, and this will cover most of the cost at community college. By completing a FAFSA or CASFA, you are opening doors for additional funding, which will hopefully help cover the entire cost. The FAFSA and CASFA were updated last year to include what is called the Student Aid Index, or what they call the SAI, which gives you a scale from negative 1,500 to 999,999. The lower your SAI is, the higher financial aid is needed to support your student and family through the college experience. So in order to complete a FAFSA or CASFA, you'll need to compile some documents prior to starting. So if you're planning on completing a FAFSA, you'll need your social security number, federal income tax returns, bank statements, net worth, and any additional funds or dollars that you have. If you were completing the CASVA, you would need all of that without your student's social security number. So FAFSA opened a couple weeks ago, and so you were able to start filling those out. In order to fill out a FAFSA, again, we would recommend that you pull together your financial records. And the first step is really creating what is called an FSAID. This is a secure way of contributing your information into the FAFSA form. I've hyperlinked on here the direct links to create your FSA ID and for starting and completing a FAFSA. For the CASFA, you would also need to get your financial records together, and you are able to start applying for the CASFA through this link right here. The CASFA should be open hopefully by the end of the month. So there's a little bit more time to prepare for that and get your records together. Excuse me. These forms are extremely important and can be a little bit daunting to do. So there are lots of ways to receive support in helping you and your student go through all of this. If your students are at a DPS run high school, there are school counselors at every high school and Denver Scholarship Foundation advisors at most. And their job is really to help you through this process, as well as helping you find additional resources and supports to do so. I've also hyperlinked the FAFSA website. They have some great tools and ways to help you through that. The CASFA website, as well as Maya Learning, again, which is the tool that we use in DPS to support you and your students through thinking through what it is they want to do after high school and how to apply. Are there any questions?
One quick question here. I know you touched a little bit on the Maya, but can you explain a little more in depth, like how families use Maya, the process in case it's something that they're unfamiliar with?
Of course. So all of your students receive a Maya learning account starting in 6th grade. Most of your kids should know exactly how to access it. Every school has it on their website, but maybe in a different place. So I would talk to your students about how to get on it. On Maya Learning, we have students do everything from taking interest inventories to learn a little bit more about who they are and what their interests and passions are and how that could connect to the world of work. We have students explore different college opportunities, look and see what's out there. And then when they're in senior year of high school, students really apply for colleges through this tool. So everything from sending their application, requesting letters of rec are all done through this platform. We also use this platform to do a lot of research on different types of scholarships. So again, scholarships are also free money that a student, excuse me, can apply for, and scholarships can be completed and done through this tool, or as well as any of the colleges your students are applying to will have a huge bank of scholarships specifically through their institution. But Maya is a tool that your students should be very familiar with by the time they're in 12th grade.
And then one more question here, just in regards to the whole department and the work that you do. If, their child is not a senior or ready for like FAFSA process, like what things can parents be doing to prepare their child for college or career success at home?
That's a great question. There is probably so much to do. I would say talk to your children about what you do, why you chose to do what it is, how you got to your current career. We do that a lot, just talking through all of our experiences. Most of us have taken so many different turns along the way. Thinking about what our kids' strengths and interests are. We really want students at the end of the day to have a meaningful career. So we talk about college as a way to get to whatever it is that they want to do with their future. But the more they think about who they are and what's important to them and where they can find meaning, is something that we would really push as a great tool to help your students, as well as stay connected with your students' school. There are tons of opportunities, parent events, school trips and experiences that your students can take advantage of right now while they're in school to really explore. We have lots of different types of classes, whether it's career tech ed classes, opportunities for internships, job shadow, lots of different experiences that are available to students at any high school and middle school, to really start exploring and thinking about what it is that they want to do when they grow up.
Hi, Jasmine. I have a question. Do you oversee the charter schools like CLA, um, uh, Colorado Charter High School, like Compassion Road?
Yeah, so my work is within Title I family engagement. So yeah, a few of those fall under my work to just support. Is there something specific that you're looking for?
I'm just like, so I'm joining because I have 4 teenagers that are in different grades and they do have IEPs and special needs. So throughout my time with DPS and like navigating, the getting them the support to graduating like on the career path, I haven't felt the support. I have a daughter that graduated, and when she did graduate, we didn't get that support, and we're now doing that on our own. And with my son who is a senior, my other daughter who's a senior, experiencing the same thing. And I've worked closely with the district, but I don't feel that support. And I feel like, just, because we are in this space, I don't know if it's something that we can talk
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, so Katie, can I ask you in regards to like college and career success, are there any like differences that you see between the supports available for college and career at charters versus regular schools, or is it kind of different across the board?
It is different at every school based off the school resources. So I cannot speak to charter schools, but at CLA and Compassion Road, those are actually DPS run high schools. We have school counselors at both those schools that are fabulous, that work really hard in providing opportunities. And I know that at both of those schools, often students are trying to earn credits at a faster rate. And so sometimes those opportunities look a little different than at maybe a more traditional large high school. But I would recommend reaching out to your school counselors at both those schools, as well as if you're feeling that our whole hope is honestly to help our students have a successful life. And that's not just high school graduation, it's really thinking through again who they are, what they want to do, and helping connect them to those resources. So we're here to help. Feel free to reach out to me too after, sorry, recovering from this awful cold. But I'm happy to help and talk through what your students' needs are and how we can really connect them to opportunities.
Yeah,
I
Mariah,
think
I do want you to stay online, please, so we can dive deeper into that. But we're going to go ahead and close out the live stream so that we can dive deeper. We prefer to do it a little more privately. But thank you for all those that are here virtually on our social media platforms. You can reach out to Katie and I by going to Face University. That's on our DPS K-12.